Welcome everybody to more Heroes of the Storm on Khaldor TV. And today we have a pretty interesting best of 3 series. And in this game in particular, I mean, okay, let's just like come straight to the point. We have Murky in the game, alright? I wanted to talk a little bit about compositions, I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on here, but we actually have Murky in the game. And this is a final. This was a final of one of the tournaments here, the Go for Heroes weekly tournament, and it was the first map. To be determined is the name of the team that goes up against Virtus Pro here. To be determined has been around for quite some time, but they never really made a big impression. They never were able to go this far in a tournament, and now we have them in the finals here. The first map is actually Battlefield of Eternity, and they picked Murky. Out of the blue, they just picked Murky and said like, alright, we're going to run this with Murky here. They have an Uther in their composition for potential Divine Shield as well. I don't think that Divine Shield Murky is really going to be a thing. They also run a Zeratul, so that's probably a bit more likely that we're going to see that Divine Shield here and a Nubarak at the front line. And Virtus Pro with a little bit of a more traditional composition, even running a Muradin together with a Tyrande. So guys, without further ado, let's just get right at it. Murky in the game, and let's see if he can be victorious for his team. Game number 1 coming up right now. Alright everybody, welcome to the final of the Go for Heroes tournament. We have a pretty sick tournament match today here. A best of 3 series, and well, we're looking currently at Virtus Pro versus To Be Determined. To the left side of the map here on Battlefield of Eternity, it is Virtus Pro with Sefka on Tyrande, Unstable on Jaina, Kunichan on Brightwing, Anilendi is playing Zagara for the team, and we're having BKB, the tank player, on Muradins. And to the right side, that's where stuff is really getting crazy. It's Shokops on Nubarak, we have Blade on Zeratul, and Remabala on Murky. Let me say that again. Remabala on Crisplosion on Uther and Babeta on Sylvanas. And well, I guess that Murky pick is something that people didn't really see coming, and myself included. So it's pretty cool to see him. Ever since that change came to Murky and where he has now living in 314, people were expecting to see Murky in competitive, but nobody really had the balls to go for it. To Be Determined is using it, and whoa, they get the first kill in the game as well. We had Virtus Pro with an attempt to be aggressive in the early stages and trying to burst down one of the towers. But that little trap that we saw there from To Be Determined from TBD still took out one of their heroes and did get a kill against Zeratul as well. On this map, actually thinking about it, Murky could be extremely good, and just because you have these long and drawn out fights in the middle of the map once that the objectives are up, and Murky can just simply put his egg somewhere nearby and then be super annoying during those immortal fights. So I'm really liking the idea here, and I can't believe that we're actually seeing Murky. I'm super happy about that. So let's see if they can really win with it. We only saw, I think, on the European server, one series in the past where Murky was played in competitive, and it was by Team Liquid. It was a while ago, and it was more of a troll game than anything else, which they won, by the way. But in this game, there is quite some, like, I mean, this is the final, right? This is the first map of the final, so there's a lot on the line here. And while looking at the talents here, Murky, of course, at level 4 going for block. It's kind of the standard talent if you play the build. Normally what we have is on level 4 then Living the Dream, and a big focus on pufferfish, since you can just like obliterate any kind of target later on when you get your auto grab, especially at level 20. The other talents that we're seeing here, Brightwing is of course going for Hyper Shift, which is like the talent to take these days. Brightwing got changed a lot in the recent patch. A lot of aggression here at the bot lane, by the way, with both of them running a quad lane. A kill maybe? No, not yet against BKB, but a Nubarak is dying, and Uther as well. Actually pretty sweet here. We are currently seeing the team around BKB, Virtus Pro, showing TBD how it's done and getting the first 3.25 kills in. Only 1 kill for the opponent's team just yet. Blade is being attacked here now as well. We're having Stormbolt build on the side of Muradin, so Muradin is trying to not go for Reverberation, not really a reason to do that, maybe with the exception of Zeratul in the game. And an attempted kill against Sefka, and down goes Tyrande. Very well done by TBD. Blade is rushing away. Everybody's ignoring those immortals in the mid lane, by the way. But we are having also Remabala on his Murky, you know, starting to put some pressure on. And of course, with all that pufferfish damage and that siege damage in general that Murky can dish out, he's not too bad against the objectives either. They're immediately going for it, and here we have Murky going up to the top lane, since we have Kunichan just trying to push this in a little bit, pushing the lane back, whereas the rest of the heroes is down to the bot lane, where we once again see the red team TBD trying to well up and just go straight for Unstable again. The boss is currently exposed. Murky is still pushing, he's not even participating in the fights. He has taken Living the Dream on level 4. I mean, that's a big no-brainer, basically, taking this talent. You get your additional ability power. It got nerfed a little bit in the last patch, but it's still pretty strong, and in general, Murky's talents have been a bit reworked. Now a lot of them do even more damage than they did before, especially in the later stages of the game. But right now we're having to the left side of the map also another Immortal. It's just a switch that we have once that one of the Immortal reaches half health. They switch positions, so the Immortal of the blue team went to the left side. And both of the teams are more interested in really fighting it out in the mid lane, and they're really going for it. Sefka, by the way, playing Tyrande on a damage build, but in this case she could really do with a bit of added protection thanks to a protective shield, but Sefka gets away. Murky already dead, and the searing attacks, the searing arrows that we have here on Sefka, they're trying to use them as well. That big brawl in the mid lane, and that's of course what Battlefield of Eternity is really known for. It's very, very chaotic during those Immortal fights, and you try to get as many kills as you can, but especially in the early fights, since the death timers are so low, every hero that you take down will be back within a couple of seconds, and if you don't move back when you run out of hit points or like mana, you will end up in a fight that is to your disadvantage. Nice stun attempt here on the side of Sefka, no follow-up though, unstable apparent, it was already in cooldown on his Blizzard. The Immortals are still there, Anilendi is going for the defense, and we have Remabola again with Murky moving in for another pufferfish. The teams are closing in on level 7, which will give them an added talent, but for now we are seeing just Virtus.pro again trying to protect their own Immortal. It's always easier to protect your Immortal since those stun circles that we are seeing help you, of course, with the fights against your opponent. It's always a risk to move towards your opponent's Immortal and try to take down just because those Immortal spells can hit you as well. Sefka gets nearly blasted away there. Can he save himself? No, doesn't have the heal ready. And we have once again TBD moving in against the rest of the heroes. Jaina dying now too. 4 kills against 4. Murky moving in up from the top. On level 7, we have, by the way, Slime advantage taken. Didn't go for the pufferfish talent just yet. Interesting that we see this one. So instead of like, it's a basic attack improvement by the way. Once you put Slime on a target, your basic attacks do more damage than before. Not going for the pufferfish talent here. But yeah, interesting approach anyways. I'll talk a bit about the different talents here in general. We haven't really touched on the talents so far since this map is super aggressive in the early game. But we should definitely give it a quick look. We're having on a Nuburak a full beetle build. Zeratul, of course, is going for the auto attack build. I mean, there's no other build that really can do this much damage with flexibility in the game just yet. Even the old caster build is not really that popular anymore. If you're looking at Uther, it's kind of what you expect with the Conjurer's Pursuit at level 1, which, by the way, is oftentimes now replaced by Reach. Now that Conjurer's Pursuit is not that good anymore. Good kill against Tyrande here again. TBD really putting up a fight here against Virtus.pro. I mean, let's not kid ourselves, Virtus.pro is the favorite in this series. But so far, TBD is playing a solid game. Murky, we went over his build so far already. Cleanse, of course, Luther on level 7. All of the healers have level 7 cleanse by now, with the exception of Lily. And when we're looking at Sylvanas, we still have Poison and Venom on level 4, but we have Lost Soul on level 1. And usually when you see that talent taken for the Shadow Dagger, then what happens on level 16 is that you do not go into Blood for Blood, which is becoming less popular these days, but you will try and go for Cold Embrace, and then you have a much lower cooldown on that talent. Good kill against Brightwing at the top lane. Wow, Murky is going for it. The Brightwing hate is real. This camp, by the way, is absolutely ridiculous. With that Shaman in the back always resummoning those Fellhounds, it is so strong. If you get one of those camps while the objectives are up and nobody takes care of them, then they can take down a fort on their own easily. So it's, yeah, it's absolutely crazy. So we're having Murky, by the way, up at the top here, dying, but still very, very annoying, of course, and the bot lane is now being pushed. But let's focus a bit on the talents that we're seeing for Virtus.pro, because we have some very interesting ones over here. Arcane Intellect once again taken after Deep Chill and Frostbitten for Jaina, pretty standard. But we have next to Hyper Shift now also Peekaboo, and that is an interesting one to take. So in this case, focus are being revealed. We have also the Phase Shield. This is no normal one that you take. Normally when you are seeing Brightwing these days, what you will have, unless you need Cleanse on level 7, is on level 1 Hyper Shift, on level 7 Phase Shield, and on level 4 and level 13 it's the Pixie Dust. So kind of interesting to see this shift in talents here, triggered by Zeratul on the opponent's team. And I like that they're actually adjusting their build there. Once again, the fight up here at the top, and once again, they're going straight for the tank. And Uburak just barely getting away, already Divine Shield on him. Murky taken out, but the egg is kind of close, so they can immediately move back into the fight, and that's exactly where the strength of Murky, of course, really lies. If you just die and you are back a second later, then you are in an absolutely great position, especially later on in the game when the death timers for everybody else are like at a minute or even more. So then you can move in, die, move into the battle once again. And on this map in particular, where we have this center area being so important for the objectives, there are a lot of little nooks where you can just hide your egg and then try to take those out. Once again, one of the Immortal is down to half health and they're switching positions after a little bit of Dragon Ball Z animation fight in the middle. And now the teams are moving straight in again. We have the level 10 abilities, the heroics, and there's again Shadow Stalk for Tyrande. Virtus Pro style, that's the talent that they love. Even on a map like this, where a Starfall would be great, and here it comes already, going straight for the Octograb, but no kill just yet. You can also, of course, cleanse that out. Big fights in the mid lane right now, they're really going for it. BKB is starting to get low, but so is Zeratul, and also Nubarak. Shadow Stalk being used, they're moving in to take down the tank of the opponent's team. TBD is losing one of their own, and it is now in a 4 versus 5. Murky dying as well, but he will be back. He's a little bit like Arnold Schwarzenegger in that case, Khaldor. And he definitely will be. Currently he's at the top lane, trying to push the lane in here, but we already have another Immortal now for Virtus Pro. We're seeing Web Blast taken, Octograb, Divine Shield, Wailing Arrow, and Void Prison. And when we're looking towards the side of their opponents, Virtus Pro is running this with a more Blink Heal, Water Elemental, and Avatar. No big surprises there. We have a slight adjustment on the side of Anilendi with his build. Didn't go for Endless Creep on level 7, he went for Rapid Incubation. And since you see Endless Creep a lot more often these days, I think we can still point it out. It's a bit more old school style what we're seeing on Zagara. Very good talent to take still. But we're also having a full build on the Sledgehammer and Piercing Bolt for Muradin. And that is of course what is also extremely strong here. Look at the egg. The egg is down and Murky dead for 22 seconds. Yeah, well, this time at least they found it, but now we have a big push in the top lane, and that could cost them the first 4. Virtus Pro is starting to take a slight lead. When you look at the kills, they are only a little bit ahead by like 1.5 kills, and that's it. Of course, Murky only gives your team a quarter kill, not more than that. But now we have them moving in again, and it looks like Virtus Pro is going to be able to get that level 13 talent a bit faster and secure themselves a lead. They're trying to go through the wall with the Immortal here, and yes, they are going to get at least the gate itself. Once again, the move towards the Bruiser camp. This is really important. Like, this camp is super important on the map. If your opponent steals yours away, then you're in a bit of trouble. It's not so much that you can't defend against it, it's more though that you will not have the opportunity to put pressure on your opponent's lane. There are 4 camps in general on this map that you can get. Brightwing, by the way, down to the bot lane is trying to get the split experience, so Kuni-chan is ready to jump in with his phase shift whenever he can. He went for the shield dust on level 13, the Pixie talent. We're having an improved ice block, the overflowing light for Tyrande, who went for Lunar Blaze on level 7. The only talent where Sefka really changed his build is level 4, where we're seeing the Searing Arrows right now. So it's a pretty cool talent to take if you want to dish out the extra damage, and we're going to look at that later on. But now they're jumping in again, they have the talent advantage. Well, they lost it actually. Here we go, Murky is going for the Bubble Machine, not going for the standard Pufferfish build, but going for something a bit different here. Jacobs is moving back on his Nubarak. He's actually eating a lot of damage in these fights. I mean, that's his job as well as tank at the front line, trying to soak that up. And we're having also now another talent taken on Sylvanas, Overwhelming Affliction. We have that slow against heroes. That stacks, by the way, quite a bit too. We have 2 heroes dead again on the side of TBD. And that is just where Virtus Pro is showing their excellence again. This team, by the way, is so strong these days. They are doing such an amazing job. They just won the Zote Cup the other day, and now they're in the final of the Go for Heroes tournament again. On the side of Uther, we're actually seeing a Shrink Ray. Now, about Shrink Ray, you can actually, like, really discuss the talent quite a bit. Normally you see it against melee assassins, or against a tank that really gives you a huge amount of problems, so maybe it's really just designed to give, especially Muradin, a lot of trouble here. But other talents that are very, very good for Uther on this level are, for example, their Spell Shield. That took a little bit longer. Yeah, Spell Shield has been buffed in this patch, and it's actually like really, really strong. Especially if you think about going into Hardened Focus on level 16 instead of simply using Benediction, then Spell Shield is absolutely great, since it will keep your hit points up. So for now, we're having also on Nubarak, the Chitinous Plating being used here. Water Elemental already in action, trying to push Babeta back. And a kill against Murky. He'll be back for sure. The egg is just over there. Water Element has, of course, to be taken down. It's level 15 versus 14. Here they come again. Kulichan is jumping in. The egg is just there. We are using Web Blast. The egg is about to die. It is actually down. And Murky is in a bit of trouble right now. No, actually, he moved it up to the top. Didn't get killed. Just barely before he got killed, he moved it to the top. There comes again the Octograb, but he's not able to kill Andilendi. He doesn't have the talents on his pufferfish, so he doesn't do as much damage as he normally would with this. And he's still extremely annoying. And of course, especially now that the death timers are a little bit higher and that we're in the mid-game, Murky is going to get extremely nasty. But BKB found the egg and took it down. So now Murky has to be careful, is starting to be at the top lane, trying to push another X somewhere, and the defense of the attack against the opponent's Immortal is currently happening. For Virtus Pro, that is. We're seeing, of course, TBD still defending here, trying to move in and do something about that, but that Immortal already lost a few hit points. Both of the teams is now moving back to defend their own. Of course, on the side of Virtus Pro, they have to go to the top lane first and make sure that they can de-push this one. Probably gonna well up and then move straight into the mid lane again. Looking also a bit at the damage that we are seeing from the teams. 10,000 on Murky, not too bad. Can't really keep up with Sylvanas here, but still very annoying hero in this game right now. And the damage on the side of Virtus Pro comes mostly from Zigara, 23,000. Oh, nice combination attempt against Jacobs on his Inuburak, but in this case, he actually got away. So very well done. That stun of Tyrande hits a bit too late. Blade is still trying to take the creep tumors down so that the opponent doesn't have as much vision in the mid lane. That's one of the reasons why Zigara is very good on this map, because you just have perfect vision of what's going on if you really put the time in to get your creep on the map. And in this case, they did. So they know what's happening here. And Zigara is just continuing this. She's a very good hero to just push. And especially, of course, in the early game, you can also get some pressure done with this. So very well done. Currently, as you can see, TBD is not even fighting anymore, and the reason for that is quite simple. We have by now level 16. Oh, BKB trying to go for another Storm Ball, dodged by the bubble, but Murky dying regardless. Inuburak, on the other hand, is already trying to take a bit of damage towards the blue team's Immortal, especially with the Beatles here. But the blue team is meeting up, trying to take this one out. But Brightwing at the bot lane taken out. Wow. We had apparently 3 of the heroes moving in with a stun on Uka, and then Babeta and Blade taking down Brightwing, and suddenly they turn it into a 4 versus 5. They have the level 16 talents as well, but we're immediately seeing the Cold Embrace on Sylvanas. So having the bubble again for Murky. BKB needs to jump back and does that in the last second here, so the safety bubble now also restores 50% of the health after the cooldown already got reduced on level 13. Here comes the Blood for Blood, and bot lane, that's where the Immortal is starting to move in, and he actually does quite a significant amount of damage already. Just flats those archers in the back with one fell swoop and goes for the tower right now. You can see the damage that he dishes out. So at this point, TBD is in a bit of trouble. They need to defend against this one, lead up, and of course allows first of all Virtus Pro to push the lanes back, take down Murky again, but well, we all know that he's going to be back. And we're having also given the axe being used here. Interesting. Alright, so doing extra damage with every single auto attack when the opponent is slowed. And in this case, we're having, of course, a lot of heroes that can either stun or slow, especially Lady Frost up here at the top. Jaina is going to be helping Muradin with this one. He didn't go for the reverberation move, but still. Oh, Murky, by the way, lost his egg, and that triggers an immediate be back. Oh, there comes the owl already. That could have done a bit of damage. Probably not killed him outright just yet, but still. Over here, BKB is... Oh! No! What? They're moving away! They're moving away from the camp. He's gonna steal it. Needed to go into the fight, but that means that BKB just steals the camp here, jumps into the battle. We have Tyrande already down, though, a 4 versus 5 situation, and up here at the top, Blade is trying to chase down Jaina, and they're getting the kill. The ball is a bit too late, and now Virtus Pro is in trouble. Yes, everybody's low on the opponent's team, but still, can they get kills? That's the question. They're trying to jump on Uther. Uther is so low. Zeratul is dying. And Uther is dying as well. Great turnaround on the side of Virtus Pro. They're making it happen just now. And are trying to jump in again to get another kill, maybe against Babeta or against Jacobs. Babeta, that's the one that they're starting to ping here. They want to go for Sylvanas, and they're very close, but BKB needed to move back. Babeta escapes, and Murky is forcing them back now as well. Uther's finally taking his own talent too. He went straight into Benediction here, so he can go for the double heal or double stun no matter what he wants to do with this. And we are on level 18 to level 17 already. Looking at the rest of the talents that we're seeing for Virtus Pro, Quitter Rise has been taken. Quite often you see the extra second on the Polymorph. Numbing Blast has also been claimed, and we're seeing the Shooting Star on the side of Zefkaja and his Tyrande. Looking a little bit at the numbers again, just to give you a bit of an idea of what we're seeing in the map here. If you look at especially siege damage, Murky, of course, really, like, he takes the trophy. And that is something that is quite normal if you're seeing a Murky in your game. When it comes to just de-pushing lane, going in with a pufferfish and really getting all that siege damage in, Murky is absolutely amazing. And he, of course, needs to also deliver a bit of hero damage right now. Are they moving in with another Octo Grab? Not just yet, but Zefka is about to die regardless. They're trying to get him, and Murky gets the damage in. Thanks, of course, to Slimy does the extra damage, and there we have him with an Octo Grab, trying to take down Brightwing. Not enough DPS without a pufferfish on the other hand, though. But Kunichan moves back and dies in the end. Babeta helping out over here, and it's 3 kills against 0 in this fight as Jaina died now too. Zeratul, on the other hand, cannot drop BKB, but the rest of the team is ready to finish the job. Job well done. And it looks like Zagara might die now too. The Maw was great, but there was just like too much for Zagara to handle. They take down Zagara, and just look at that experience that we're seeing all of a sudden for TBD. They're already up here at the top with Murky trying to attack the Immortal, the opponent's team. And the rest is just moving in, claims the fort at the bot lane, and with Babeta and the Black Arrow and Sylvanas, they're just simply saying, alright, listen up boys, we're gonna take your wall now too, and that's gonna bring us very close to level 20 if it doesn't drop the extra talent into our lap right away. Down to the bot lane, on the other hand, that's where we're seeing the Shaman trying to go through the keep. He's been focused down, but you can see that he destroyed the entire wall there already, so well done by them. And with level 20 now in the midst, they're moving straight into the middle. The Immortals are roughly on the same amount of health, but fighting against level 20, Virtus Pro should really think about that, because we have now the Hardened Shield, we have Nexus Blade, Murky's going for Rewind, which gives him the double pufferfish once that he goes in for a target with an Octo Grab. And we're seeing also Bolt of the Storm, whereas Uther is probably going to wait and take Redemption later. He can take Redemption, by the way, when he's already dead, so once that his trade gets triggered and he is already Ghost, he can still start to take Redemption, and that's all that he needs to do here. So, Redemption already claimed, and we're having them moving in now. Again, it is an Immortal for the red team, and the only thing that Virtus Pro really needs to do here is soak experience. That's really important for them. Get that level 20. Keep in mind that this is the first game of the best of 3 series here. But who's gonna take it? It looks like the Murky team is moving down to the mid lane, and so far Murky, even though he used a bit of an alternative build here, that was not able, it didn't really enable him to do that much damage against heroes. He really puts in the work for his team. The thing is that on level 20, if you go for the normal pufferfish build, what really happens is that you can snipe any target on your opponent's team quite easily. That is sometimes a bit of a problem. You want to go for the healer, for example. Cleanse can be a bit of a nuisance there, since you can cleanse not only Lambscape Slaughterhouse, but also an Octo Grab can do it well. So oftentimes you have to focus on the healer there, but if you get a hold of that, you can do that quite easily. Good kill here, nice arrow, double kill actually. Brightwing and Zagara taken out. TBD with a great engagement, Bubble, the Void Prison, making sure that they are just sectioning off a few heroes, and they're getting apparently everybody here. An Ice Block saving Jaina for now, but not for long, I want to say, and then there comes the Blink. Now with level 20, Bolt of the Storm has been chosen. They're trying to go for a core here already. Not quite sure if they can make that happen. Now, Remabola once again using his own Octo Grab, but that didn't do anything. Jacobs is killed. Zagara is still 30 seconds out. Can't really push this back. And Jaina, of course, the only spellcaster alive, but as I say that, they are going in for the kill and take her down. BKB is still fighting, and we had Zeratul, by the way, eliminate him further up to the top. 18 kills against 18.25, and Chris Explosion together with Remabola, they're just trying to drop the last heap on the side of the blue team, and they're getting it. Murky with the egg right over there, BKB running away. They should make sure that they don't chase him into the egg. That would be disadvantageous. Look at the damage here, oh my god! Like, Moradit is really going for it, especially with the level 13 talent. That last Thunderclap that we just saw, that did work. The mini dwarf! I mean, that guy is already not a... Oh! Is there not a Thunderclap? No, he just moves back. He doesn't have that. But yeah, talking Muradin, and we can also talk a bit about his damage, because with giving the Axe talent level 16, he's definitely putting some additional damage on the board, and you can already see that since he's currently at 40,000 against the 52,000 that we're seeing on the side of Zagara. Again, the egg was taken out, and Remabola needs to be careful up here at the top that he doesn't get killed by the creature, but I don't think he's going to run into that problem anytime soon. Not with Babeta helping out with the Shaman. So we have at the same time now the Immortals on the map once again. And I mean, with the Immortals already there, we're still seeing Virtus Pro in a situation where they want to focus down that Cooler camp first. It's so strong that eventually you have to take care of it. For them, it's also going to be deep pushing the lanes quite a lot. They're having now up here a defense against the opponent's Murky. They want to try to defend their own Ancient, but both of the teams are just like aiming for camp now before they move into the middle. And this is going to be a pretty... Well, this is a pretty important Immortal that we see there. Of course, like with most of the objectives, this one makes no exception. You have to scale into the late game, or the Immortals, they scale into the late game with damage and hit points, and by now these guys, they hit like a truck, and you want to make sure that you get this one, or at least that your opponent doesn't get one that is too strong. So both of the teams are already at level 21 or 22, and here is again the egg, and Raynor is moving in right away with another pufferfish blade jumping in now too, trying to deliver some damage. Here comes the Octo Grab and the kill against Muradin. The tank already taken out, and even with the damage that we're seeing from Odilene, great Void Prison. Uh-oh. Setup for the team is ready. They're moving in. There was only one Bolt of the Storm, but Zagara is down. Apparently she was already in cooldown. Jaina escapes, but Zagara is now dead as well. And this is suddenly where things are starting to spiral out of control of Virtus Pro a bit. They already were in a pretty sick fight with the opponent's team the entire time. TBD Determined really making a bit of a name for themselves today. We're having the Immortal attacked again and now at half HP. Of course, they are going to fight in the mid lane again a bit, and then we're going to see a position change with the blue team's Immortal moving straight up to the top, and this is where we are seeing the team moving in immediately to finish the job and get that big Immortal there. The only thing that Sefka and his boys can do right now is try to force the D back by going for the keep, but the keep is already taken out, and suddenly they can't really do all that much anymore because, well, what are you going to do? Go for the core? I highly doubt it. So Sefka, Kuni-chan, and Unstable are down here. Need to be back, and guys, this Immortal that is going to go to the top lane right now is a pretty big monster. Like, that thing is crazy strong. So over here we have the rest of the team moving in. Oh, but that would be a good start. If they can actually take down Anubarak before the fight even starts, that would be amazing. The idea for the red team, for TBD, is of course to just move in together with the Immortal now and finish the game. And they have a pretty good chance of making that happen, but they need to make sure that they don't die before the game even starts. So Virtus Pro definitely not in the, definitely not having that game that they expected. They are the favorite in the series, but right now they are behind, not only in experience, but this is really threatening their core, and therefore game number 1 for them. At this point, we're seeing again Andilendi moving in. Murky is doing work with an Octo Grab once again, setting up that kill against Jaina. Here comes the Void Prism in the back line. They're trying to go for the core, and they attack it immediately, and this looks like all hope is lost for Virtus Pro. They are most likely going to lose this one. Congratulations to TBD winning game number 1 of the Go for Heroes final with a Murky composition against Virtus Pro.
Murky, they win the game. They win the Murky game. The Murky team is in the lead with a 1-0 against Virtus Pro. To be determined has, well, they've done it. They actually are in the lead now in the series. Of course, they have to win another map before they can call themselves the champions of the tournament. But still, that was pretty sick. We have Dragonshire coming up as the next map. And guys, well, the craziness didn't stop at game number 1. We suddenly have Murky again. This time, on the other hand, it's not for to be determined. For some reason, Virtus Pro suddenly picked the hero. I even asked later why they did it, and they didn't even know themselves exactly why, but it's just like alright, if they pick Murky, we pick Murky. Well, right now, we're having them going up against the to be determined again. And Virtus Pro is trying to run that Murky strategy here now, and I am super excited for this. It's already a blast to see Murky once, right? And now suddenly you see Murky twice in a row in those games, so, well, I'm game. So this is going to be pretty cool. Guys, game number 2. Will Murky be successful again? Will we have a tie and maybe have Murky banned in game number 3, the Respect Murky ban? Like, I don't know, but, well, this is of course already a good start in the series. So a 1-0 lead for to be determined at this point, and we're jumping into game number 2 to find out if Virtus Pro can tie the series up and force a 3rd game, or if to be determined is going to be the Go for Heroes champion.
Welcome to Dragonshire, everybody. Welcome to game number 2 between Virtus Pro and TBD. To be determined won the first map Battlefield of Eternity with a Murky, and now Virtus Pro, of course, needs to try and come back into this series at the Go for Heroes final. Sefka for the team to the left is playing Rhaegar. We have Andy Lendi for the Russians on Jaina, BKB on Johanna, Unstable on Vala, and this time it is Kuni-chan on Murky. So Virtus Pro is just saying like, alright boys, we're gonna show you how to play Murky now. To the right side of the map it is TBD with Chakobs on Anubarak. Again, Remat Baller, now that Murky got taken away, he's on Kelthas. We have Chris Plosion again on Uther, Babeta on Tacita this time, and Blade on Sylvanas. So, a pretty interesting start into this game. I mean guys, like I can't even remember when well actually I can remember when I casted Murky the last time. That was a game ages ago. I think Sailor Senshi played against Team Liquid. That was like months ago in a tournament final, but right now we're having 2 Murky games in a row, and Murky being picked by 2 different teams. Murky is back, or well, actually he was never really there, so he finally arrived, let's put it like this. It's actually interesting that we're seeing Virtus Pro now take Murky. They're a team that is oftentimes, yeah, known to pick strategies or like team compositions that others don't really, that they try a lot, and sometimes they try a bit too much. For example, we saw them at one point even with no healer whatsoever. They were only using Tyrande as part of a support and trying to use the overflowing light on 13 to get the healing power in. Interesting strategy, strong in the early game, but oftentimes a bit weak then later on. So yeah, for now they are picking Murky, and I am really happy that we're seeing 2 Murky games in a row. We had TBD in the last game, playing Murky with a bit of a different build and not that focus on pufferfish that you usually see when Murky is being played. They were successful with it, and now we are of course having TBD trying to take Murky out in this one particular. Shrine control, that's something where especially Virtus Pro, aka Arthurs, really excelled in the past, and usually they get the early Dragon Eyes, and they're trying to do exactly the same thing again. Murky is trying to claim the shrine at the top. Here's Andy Lendi, and does he get? No, he just barely doesn't get that Dragon Knight. That was really, really close though, and in the last second, as you can see there was an interrupt as Jaina was trying to channel. Talking a bit about talents, Rhaegar, a hero that I actually like play a lot these days, and really like, is going on level 1 for the Colossal Totem. Now, normally you wouldn't do that. Normally you would go for different talents, either reduction on mana, on your healing, or on your chain wave. That is debatable, or you just simply go, you have a couple of other talents that you could use here as well. The Lightning Sheet talent can be really strong if you're running with the melee assassin, just to give you one example. If you go into the Colossal Totem, on the other hand, oftentimes you combine that with a level 16 Earth Grasp Totem. You don't have to though, since the healing talents on level 13 and level 16 are extremely strong. So it's a bit of a matter of personal preference what exactly you take there. In this case, Colossal Totem is of course going to give them a bit of a bigger radius on the totem. But now we have, oh, Vala in a bit of, what? Vala, I would say, in a bit of trouble. It was more than only a bit of trouble. Remat Baller apparently got a living bomb in as well for good measure, and down goes Vala. So already a few kills on the board for TBD. Feral Heart still taken on level 4, and it's still the standard talent. They got nerfed in the last patch a bit, but it is currently the standard talent to take on the hero. Down here it looks like Johanna is in a bit of trouble. Murky at the top lane again taken out. Down here though, Uther suddenly has to fear the wrath of Virtus Pro. BKB is trying to move in, but the stun. Uther, oh, they get him, and they get Blade. No, they don't. Ooh, that was so close. We had Uther just healing Blade out in the last second there. Nice moves back, by the way, by BKB and Andy Lendi. Uh-oh, Andy Lendi actually runs straight into the Bruiser camp, nearly died there. Had to move back. If he didn't pay attention to this, and would have, for example, have been watching the rest of the fight at the top, he would have died there for sure. So yeah, pretty fun early game already. Kuni-chan on his Murky went for living the dream on level 4, of course. And yeah, not like, if you ever see a Murky not playing Living the Dream these days, you know that this guy has no idea what he's doing. So this is the standard talent. The ability power, even the flat out ability power added is already amazing, and then later on of course you get even more than that. It's a great talent to take, and of course it requires a certain Murky style, but it is such a great tool, and you get so much damage out of it. Murky, by the way, the punching ball of the red team right now. He's alone at the top lane, and Murky is just like getting killed and killed and killed and killed over and over again. Probably feels like Groundhog Day right now, since he's just like arriving on lane and then he gets bursted down. Level 7 talents, on the other hand, now ready for both of the teams, and in this case it means that we're having next to the level 4 talent on Jaina, which is against Snowstorm, also Frostbitten now taken. Night takes spawn, level 1 for Johanna is of course the talent to go for, and we have Laws of Hope instead of an amplified healing on level 4 here for her, and with level 7 then Conviction for the extra movement speed. Slime advantage also taken, so going away as well from the pufferfish build, and instead going for that auto attack build, which is, well, increases the damage if you slime a target before you do 100% extra damage. It's actually quite funny. When those games happen, there are a couple of player chats, and I've been talking with a lot of players about the builds here, and a lot of players actually discussed the Murky talents. There were a few Murky players in there. Chris, for example, you might know him, a former Tychus player that's currently playing for Rocket, is also playing a ton of Murky and Starzerk as well. So all of these guys were just like discussing what's the best way to really skill Murky, how you can, especially on level 20, then burst down any target. If you go for a more pufferfish focus build for all that extra damage to slime targets, then the talents on level 13 and level 16 being the most important ones, but still being talents that have not been taken so far in the last game, and we might not even see them in this one. A kill against Khaldor here. Over there trying to run away from Unstable and Kuni-chan. And talking Kuni-chan, he's moving in with a pufferfish again to deep-push this one, but at the bot lane, that's where the real action happens. That's where we have a tri-lane, or had a tri-lane for TBD, and now with both of the shrines under their control, we have them moving into the mid lane. Murky won't be able to take Babeta down here, but at least Unstable can make sure that Jacobs is not getting the Dragon Knight just yet. And at the bot lane, it's a focus on Uther. They're trying to force TBD back, both on the teams on level 9. Cleanse on Uther. And Uther is actually going to be one of those heroes which makes it a bit difficult for Murky in this case. It's really interesting that Murky got picked in this situation, because right now Uther has not only Cleanse, which really helps quite a bit against the Octograph, but then also later on another thing that you can really do is just use the Divine Shield to help out any kind of target that's getting locked down by Murky and the rest of the team. Murky, by the way, really giving Tazza a run for his money here. With a level 10 talent, they could take him down, but they don't have that yet. Now they do though, since we had Unstable move in to help Murky out, and down goes Tazza. Job well done. There's the Octograph, Stray, Blessed Shield, and the kill against Remat Baller. Well done there. Murky is negating the living bomb with a quick bubble. And we're seeing, of course, Ancestral Healing. Now, the most useless thing in the entire world is when you see an Ancestral Healing heal a Murky, and that can happen. It could happen in this game as well. Like, making a bit of a misclick is... It's really... in the heat of the battle, it can happen, right? And when you see the Ancestral Healing on a Murky, then you're just like, as a Rhaegar player, you always sit there and say like, oh my god, what did I just do? We have the attempt to go straight for the Dragon Knight, and they're gonna get it with Murky, aren't they? Yes, they are! Murky is in the Dragon Knight, and they're moving in. The heroics are, of course, on the board now as well for TBD. Having a Web Blast, Phoenix, Divine Shield, Archon, and a Wailing Arrow. And Kuni-chan is just trying to pressure them in the mid lane, force a reaction, whereas the rest of the team is starting to move over to push the remaining lanes, and of course, soak the experience there as well. So job so far, well done. We have 5 kills against 2.5 in favor of Virtus Pro. As already said before, they are behind in the best of 3 series. They have to go for Euros Final, so they need to win 2 games in a row now. This is their strongest map, and they need to make sure that they at least take this one off TBD to force a 3rd game and claim a potential 3rd map where they can then go and win the tournament. Andilendi is already on his Wonder ability there. Sefka is moving in now too. Kuni-chan is very low on the Dragon Knight. There is still a level lead that we're seeing for Virtus Pro, and they're trying to move in now. And it looks like Blade moves away with a Haunting Wave. I'm not quite sure if that was really needed, but well, better safe than sorry, I suppose. So they are moving in straight for the caps, trying to take one after another. We have Murky also on the map again, just looking what he can make happen there. Was apparently checking out the Bruiser camp of the opponent to see if he can maybe do something about that. Or annoy them. There they are, and that's exactly where Kuni-chan is headed right away. Checks what's going on, uses his block on level 1. We have, of course, a Bruiser camp to the left side already taken. That's where we saw Johanna together with Vala doing her job. Unstable is moving to the top. Here comes Octograph again. Yeah, well, Octograph doesn't really have the highest cooldown, but still, in this case, didn't really get the chance to do anything about that. Uther has to be one of the priority targets for Murky in the later stages of the game. You really need to take him out, since he can negate a lot of the damage that you do. So if you focus on him, if you get a good grab on him, then he can really do the work. especially ones that you have hit level 20 with Rewind. You can do a ton of work with the right combo. You just need to make sure that you get those 2 Octograbs, sorry, not the 2 Octograbs, the 2 Pufferfish in, together with the Octograb, and then you can really do something right. It is, again, the bubble build, though. The build that we've seen already earlier, with the cooldown reduction on level 13, and I guess that means that we're also seeing the safety bubble on level 16 with the hit point regeneration, so that you have a bit more survivability in these fights, and that of course benefits also your level 4 talent. Now the egg got taken down, nice juke, but Murky just doesn't have the hit point pool to run away from these two for all too long. Well done here. The level 13 talent with a healing surge, and well, I'm really curious if he just leaves Colossal Totem as is on level 1, which you can definitely do with Rhaegar, or if he goes for the Earth Crest Totem, but I suppose that considering the team fights, he should probably just like go for the Tidal Wave. It's such an amazing talent to have. If you have that cooldown reduction on the side of Rhaegar and you can just like use your Chainel over and over and over again during those team fights, it's such a big asset to have in the game. Oh, that going straight for Nubark. A great kill by Virtus.pro. They turn around all of a sudden, take him out. The problem is that they have to defend the top lane, where we see with the help of Sylvanas, TBD pushing in. But yeah, for now, the keep is still there. Kuni-chan could go for an Octograb, I suppose. Nah, he has another 5 seconds, and he is slowed down. Evasive arrows, or evasive fire, by the way, chosen on... Yeah, there is going to be an Octograb, isn't there? Kuni-chan is already there, and he jumps straight for Uther, making sure that he gets this one. Is afraid that there might be a Divine Shield if he goes for it against Sylvanas. Uther was just waiting for it. Everybody is low, but nobody taken out. BKB was moving in again, though, trying to grab somebody with a Condemn. Didn't get that chance. Blade is moving away with Haunting Wave again and gets healed by Uther immediately. But now the temples or the shrines are up again, and they are moving up to the top once more. We have now on level 13 also Prescience taken for Tacita. We're seeing again Uther in this case with the Shrink Ray. And Flamethrower plus Burning Rage has been taken. The bot lane temple or shrine has been taken though, and Kuni-chan, by the way, there is only one mount for Murky. I'm really liking that he's using that Wonder Billy thingy, or the Billy Goat, but there is only one mount for Murky, and it is the pig. And this is not disputable. Like, there's absolutely no discussion, no argument about that. It is the pig. Murky on a pig is, like, there's no better Murky. It's just a fact. It's a fact of life. There is no other mount. If somebody told you elsewise, he's been lying to you, so don't believe these people. Murky on a pig is the most ridiculous thing ever, so everybody that wants to play Murky has to buy a pig first. That being said, we're seeing now on level 16 finally here for Virtus.pro, them going for the tidal waves. I'm loving this talent. It's so good. When I play Rhaegar, I love it. I don't even know why I play suddenly like so much support these days. Numbing Blast taken, Blast Hammer also for a bit of extra damage on the side of Johanna. By the way, Johanna going down here, took also Burning Rage level 13, so trying to really get some damage out. Nice healing here, but the Web Blast is hitting Rhaegar hard. In comes Andilendi, trying to help them out here. The problem is that also the egg now got taken out again, and yeah, after that stun, Rhaegar is of course not going to be able to escape, especially with Rema Baller on his Scalpers already moving around, trying to just like encircle him and drop him. Could have used the Gravity Lapse, but instead just hits the Dragonite with it, and yeah, they're forcing the Dragonite back really well here. There's not a lot of damage that they got in with this. Having Cold Embrace taken on level 16 Alpha Sylvanas, and it is the second strike, so after taking Static Charge, we have second strike. It's also interesting to see that we still see this match Conjure's Pursuit on the side of TBD. A lot of players that play support heroes have gone away from Conjure's Pursuit since they think that after the changes in the new patch is not as good anymore, since it was usually a talent that was especially designed to help you in the earlier stages of the game, and then of course in the late game you don't run into mana focus any at all anymore. So right now we're having that also. Oh, the kill against Murky again. We have that also taken on Uther, where Reach would have been an option. Benediction has been taken here now as well, by the way, just to give you a bit of a heads up there. So it's once again the Benediction plus Shrink Ray combination that we already saw in the last game of Crisplosion. Kuni-chan is on the hunt, trying to force Blade back, and that's of course the great thing about Murky. I mean, every single time you play Murky, you can just like rush away from your opponents, you can make sure that you just like somehow survive a little bit, push them back, create space for your team, and that allowed now Virtus.pro to take those Siege Giants. That being said, though, it is a very, very close match so far. 6 kills for both of the teams. We have level 17 versus 17. And in this case now, it's just a fight for the mercenary camps on the map. The bruiser camps are taken. The siege giant camps as well, trying to get a bit of map control and use that. By the way, we have also Stone Skin now used on Vala. And Stone Skin on Vala is actually one of those talents that you oftentimes take when you... Like, normally what you would go for... well, actually, let's talk about that in a second. We might have a kill. Nope, against Tacita. Not quite yet, but we have a fight. The Blade is moving in with a Haunting Wave. Is trying to close up with the rest of the team and yes, getting that wish granted. Phoenix already in for the zoning. They're trying to drop BKB and the Ancestral Healing might save BKB. No, Johanna is dead once again, turning this into a 4 versus 5 situation, and therefore a big problem here on the side of Virtus.pro. Stone Skin again though. Of course, Blood for Blood is a great talent for Vala to take, but it also forces her to go really like toe-to-toe with her opponents. And oftentimes when you have a lot of damage coming in, for example, when Kelthas is using that, Stone Skin is a great talent, how you can negate that. It's not really the most common talent on the hero, but if you really want to go on level 13 for Frost Shot and not take the Spell Shield, which in a situation of Kelthas you might want to do, then Stone Skin is kind of nice so that you can negate some of the damage if Flame Strike hits you. You get that Living Bomb applied on level 16, and then maybe somebody else from your opponent's team is trying to apply some more damage as well. So in case that you are afraid of burst, Stone Skin is very, very good. Especially, of course, as already mentioned, if you were not able to take the level 13 Spell Shield because you had to go into a different talent. Which in this case is Frost Shot, which gives you a lot of control in those fights. And as a multi-shot Vala, you usually don't want to give up on Frost Shot, so therefore that's the explanation why we suddenly see Stone Skin on Vala. Well, we have a nice attack here. Good move by Anilendi and also Rhaegar. Immediately the heal against Anilendi after he used his Ice Block. The problem is that Johanna is now down, and this is starting to get extremely dangerous here for Virtus.pro. They are losing one hero after another in these fights. Murky, of course, doesn't really count, but Anilendi is under a lot of pressure again as well. Gets barely healed by Sevka, and this is another Dragon Knight for TBD, and TBD is currently also in the lead when it comes to experience. They're starting to move in. Keeps have not fallen yet. Vala even taken out at the top lane. Not even the Stone Skin did help her out with this. And now it looks like at least the wall is going to fall against Shockhops and his Dragon Knight. They're going for it, and that could drop level 20. That will drop level 20 into their hands, and there it is. With the level 20 talent now, we will see Rewind again. No, actually we don't, because Murky, of course, is played by Virtus.pro. Sorry, mixing them up for a second. We could, of course, see a few rewinds, but in this case, it's still the Hardened Shield on the Nubarak. We have 2 Bolt of the Storms here for the Blink on Kelthas and Sylvanas for the added safety. Murky is dead again. Like, he's been dying all over the place this game, hasn't he? Redemption taken out too. Murky with 4 deaths. That means that he died 8 times. And that is with a quite passive build thanks to the 13 and 16 talent that he's been using. Hero damage, on the other hand, is at 24,000. Well, nothing too fancy, but pretty solid still. Going in for an attempted kill against Uther with the Octograph. We talked earlier about how Uther should always be his priority target, thanks to all the spells that he has to help out other heroes if they get caught in the Octograph, so you don't really want to leave him out there to do that. We're having, in regards to damage, of course, again, the red team in the lead here. And interestingly enough, Kelthas only at 37,000, didn't apparently have the time to really dish out the damage with his Ignite and Flame Strike. We're seeing Sylvanas with 45,000, which is pretty solid, and Jaina at 39. So yeah, a lot of these teams doing quite good job. We have, by the way, Murky on 67,000 siege damage. Vala surpassed him, Jaina surpassed him, and also Johanna surpassed him. Apparently they just kill out the minions a bit faster, so there's nothing left for Murky. He had a pretty tough lane as well in the early stages, granted. Unstable is also having a pretty tough time here. Gets healed with a nice Ancestral Healing, uses Strafe. They're actually trying to, at least for now, save Sevka out of that Web Blast, and they're getting that done. But here comes it again, an attempted kill. Murky already down, the double Storm Shield. We have also Bolt of the Storm taken, so at least Unstable will be able to move back before he is eliminated. But as you can see here, it's a rewind for Murky, and let's see if Murky with this can maybe have a bit of a bigger impact in the game than he did so far. Still a 30-second cooldown on the other hand on his Octograph, and they are moving in. Kuni-chan is all the way up at the front. The Water Elemental got lost over here a bit, kind of useless, and that's very annoying, especially for Jaina. Once again, we have Tacita just barely getting away, but Beta... Nah, he dies. But Beta dead, Khaldor's dead. Good blink here on the side of Blade, the last second one at that. So at least for now he survives. But yeah, pretty aggressive and interesting game now. 8 kills against 10.5. We are 18-19 minutes into the game already. Keeps have fallen, 2 keeps actually. The one up at the top and the one in the mid lane here for Virtus Pro. They have only taken a single fort. They can't be really happy about the situation in the game here. A very passive egg also for Murky, and Murky decides that this is something that he cannot stand any longer. He needs to go out on the map and be more aggressive, and that's where we see the Murky egg coming to play more towards the middle of the map. We're seeing bruiser camps taken, like all about the map control right now. Trying to take a couple of camps, really put the pressure in, allow the lanes to be pushed, and then take those shrines. But it looks like we're going to see a quick shrine for Jaina. Moving in a bit late. To be honest with you, Jaina could... Wow! Chocops is screwing up that Impale, and all of a sudden Andilendi has a dragon statue that he should not have been able to get. I was actually wondering why he didn't move in towards the dragon statue a bit faster than that, since he can start the channel even before that. But still, thanks to the Impale not hitting him, Andilendi has now the Dragonite, and this, they need to do work with this one. I mean, it's really about time that they start dropping a couple of structures there that will also drop additional experience into their hands, of course. But yeah, with 2 of your keeps down, you need to make something happen, and that is what they are currently trying to do down here at the bot lane. So regarding the talents, I mean, we are on level 20 now for both of them, but we are seeing them move in towards the bot lane with an attempt to drop the first keep of their opponents. TBD has the lead in the best of 3 series. If they are able to win this map now, then they are the winner of the Go for Heroes final. And here comes the kick against Babeta. Once again, the web blast being used. Andilendi going out of his dragon, trying to use the water elemental to maybe like lock down Khaldor. They're going straight for him. BKB gets stunned. Oh, he could not get the ancestral healing through anymore. Zefka, that is, was trying to keep him alive. Now he needs to go straight for the chain wave again. And Murky is losing his egg as well, just barely running away on that Billy Goat. But yeah, it's again TBD that wins the fight. They just have too much here. They have always up at the front line Anubarak, who does a great job, can be kept alive by Crystplosion, and then the back line with all those spells that are being dropped. Kelthas with the Flame Strike plus Ignite, Babeta with the Storms, having 2 of those thanks to Second Strike. And of course, another thing that we have that we shouldn't neglect here is that Blade from the back can always use that Wailing Arrow if he sees an opportunity to just silence a few of the heroes, and he does a very good job with that. Looking at the damage here once more, as we are seeing the TBD move in for the next keep, they should be able to take this. I don't think that they can core here, but they should be able to take this keep. We have now Murky with 32,000 damage. He doesn't really have too much more damage than Johanna. The problem with Murky right now is he doesn't really do the damage against heroes that he could do thanks to his, if he would go for a bit more pufferfish focus build. And the utility from having the Octograb is not really there, since they weren't, like, were they able to like take down a lot of heroes that they Octograb? I don't really think so. We always have Uther there for potential Divine Shield. If they focus on Uther, they can do this, but the burst is always tricky. Andilendi has to really move in deep to get that snowstorm in. The problem is that the Blizzard, he did not go for the talent on level 13, which improves not the duration, which improves the cast range by 100%, and he can't really do that, I feel, since we are seeing him using Ice Block for very good reason in this game. That's too much sun. This is exactly what we needed to see. Alright, there's the pufferfish and the damage. Unstable even going so far as to using Strafe here. A lot of heroics have actually been dropped for this particular kill, but it was an important one, so I don't really blame them, especially since now that they are in a 5 versus 4 situation, they might even be able to get another Dragonite, and that would be great for them. They are already moving back home to defend first and also get, of course, a bit of mana back, but with all those catapults pushing in, there's very little that you can do on the map. You have to defend first and then move back out on the map and try to turn things around here. But the bot lane is now being attacked once more, and BKB is going to die, isn't he? Johanna not going for Indestructible but for a Storm Shield, and that didn't really help her in this situation. Again the Ice Block. Andilendi gets stunned once by Uther, and then there is an Uberak for the follow-up stun. The kill against Murky now as well. Not really the best game for Virtus Pro right now. 10 kills against 15, and these late game fights have been dominated by TBD. So very annoying situation for Virtus.pro to be in. They know that they can't lose this map or they will lose the final. We have by now 5 deaths, aka 10, on the side of Murky. No, it's even more than 10. What am I talking about? It's not only half 10. It's, wow. Murky died 20 times in this game. It's a quarter kill, right? Like, do I suck at math or what's going on here? 20 kills against Murky. I mean, yes, it's difficult for him to survive in such an environment, but still, having those safety talents on 13 and 16, we should see Kuni-chan being able to make a bit more happen, or at least not die that often. I mean, those kills, they really, really add up after a while. Another kill against Barbeta there, though. That was well done. And I mean, with this kill in particular, maybe they have an opportunity to do something here. Jacobs, on the other hand, is already at the core. Can they defend this? He's dying so much damage here already. But we're having the entire force of Virtus.pro moving in, trying to defend it. In the back line, Kelta's down, Tasla down, but it doesn't matter anymore. The GG dropped as the Russian team loses the series. TBD takes it with a 2-0 at the Go for Heroes final. Congratulations.
Wow, that game, so long and drawn out, but it is to be determined. They take it with a 2-0 against Virtus.pro. A great performance that they had today, and nobody really expected them to just end up in the final and take down Virtus.pro here. For Virtus.pro, this is a little bit annoying, I have to admit, because like these guys were fighting through the losers bracket, not the losers bracket, but the lower part of the bracket, where they had like a lot of strong teams going up against them. For example, Nihilum, Fnatic was down there, a couple of others as well, and it was really the tougher part of the bracket, but still ending up in the final here against a team like To Be Determined, you think they would be the massive favorite to take it, and To Be Determined coming in as the underdog, and they claim it without even dropping a map, winning a game with Murky on game number 1, and then on the second map on Dragonshire, just defeating the Murky composition. Long and drawn out game, but they make it happen, and that was quite nice. So yeah, congratulations To Be Determined. Really cool performance here today, and they are the Go for Heroes champions, at least of this week. So guys, pretty sick games. I hope that you enjoyed the comment area as well.